Hey, Bears fans, breaking tone tonight? Because this one is about a clean fix for 3rd and 5, and how it lines up with what Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen want this defense to be in November and beyond. Here's the brief so you know what you're getting from me before we hit the name. I'll lay out the problem Chicago has to solve in the slot. I'll show you how a true nickel answers it in Allen's system without blowing up Jalen Johnson or Tyreek Stevenson's roles. I'll walk through the contract, the cost we just saw on the market, what a realistic Chicago offer would have been, how this would change our dime and 2-minute calls, and then I'll give you the verdict and ask for yours. No fluff, no mystery terms, just a straight plan that respects the cap, the room, and the tape. Set the board. Ben Johnson is the head coach now, Dennis Allen is running the defense, and that means a heavy nickel world, 2 high looks, pattern match rules, a slot who can tackle in space and carry option routes without grabbing. When you live in nickel, the slot isn't a luxury. He's a starter. Jalen is locked in as your CB1 on the boundary and playing like it. Stevenson is your other outside corner with length and ball skills. And Kyler Gordon is the in-house nickel who earned his money and the extension to prove it. All good, until injuries hit or you want to keep your coverage shells intact against trips and motion teams that hunt the slot with pick routes and choice routes every single drive. That's where this move comes in. Deepen the room with a nickel who plays on-schedule football, keeps your rules clean, and lets Allen send pressure from structure instead of panic. The goal here is simple: fewer scramble snaps, more routine stops. Let's talk traits before we talk name. The slot you bring in has to do 5 things: trigger and tackle on quick game, carry option and pivot routes without losing leverage, sort stacks and bunches without panicking, blitz on schedule when the call asks for it, and finish. You don't need a highlight machine. You need a dependable pro who plays fast and clean. In Allen's menu, that player sits at the point of conflict on a lot of calls. If he's late, everyone looks bad. Now the market reality, and yes, this just moved. The Eagles pulled the trigger and acquired the exact profile I'm describing from the Jets. The price wasn't back-breaking, it was a player swap and a late-round pick flip. That tells you 2 things. Real nickel play is available if you're decisive, and you don't have to walk into the deadline throwing premium picks at the board. If Chicago wanted to, we could have matched that value without touching the front end of the draft. Okay, let's open it up. The player is Michael Carter II, now an Eagle after leaving the Jets. He's 26, experienced as a true slot, and he plays the job the way coaches want. Sturdy against the run, foot quick in space and under control at the catch point. No drama, no freelancing. He's been the steady third man in a secondary that lived off corners winning on time. He doesn't need a scheme built around him. He fits into yours and does his work. So would Michael Carter II be a good choice for the Bears? On the field, it's a yes for 3 reasons. First, the snaps. In our dime packages, you can keep Jalen and Stevenson outside, keep Gordon in his natural nickel role, or flex him into a star alignment as the matchup demands, and still put Carter on the field as your second slot or dime slot. That lets Allen keep 2 high shells on passing downs without going thin on the edges. Second, the matchups. The NFC North is full of motion and picks, Green Bay and Minnesota especially. Carter's background in a rules-driven system means fewer freebies for opponents on 3rd down. Third, the 2-minute drill. Late in halves, when offenses string RPO, glance, and quick outs in a hurry, your nickel has to play fast and make clean tackles to keep the clock moving. Carter does that. He turns 2nd and 4 into 3rd and 3 instead of 1st and 10. It's the little stuff that keeps your call sheet wide. Contract and cap. Carter is under team control beyond this season. To facilitate the trade, he agreed to delete a 2026 injury guarantee that would have complicated a deal. That tells you 2 more useful things. He wanted the move, and he isn't carrying a number that locks you into bad options. For Chicago, that kind of deal is clean. You can integrate him now. Decide later if you want this room to be the best nickel room in the league. Or you can keep your comp pick options open if you go another direction in the spring. No cap theatrics required. But what about Kyler Gordon? Good question. And that's exactly why this fit makes sense. Kyler is a legit starter at nickel when healthy, and he just got paid like it. This isn't a benching move, it's a win-the-week move. You keep Kyler where he thrives, and Carter gives you insurance and flexibility. If Kyler's workload needs managing after IR time, you aren't forcing depth corners into heavy slot duties. If you want to kick Kyler outside in a specific look because the matchup calls for it, you can do that without breaking the shell. If you want to play more dime behind four-man rush and keep a safety fresh, you can do that too. It's optionality. The good kind. Could the Bears have matched the price? Yes, without hurting the roster build. Philly just set the market using a depth receiver and a late-round swap. Chicago could have mirrored that type of deal with a non-core piece plus a pick flip. The key is discipline. Don't trade for the name. Trade for the role. If the ask had turned into a firm day 2 pick, I'm out. For a straight depth swap and a late flip, I'm in. You protect the top of the draft and still get better right now. How does this change the call sheet? This is where you feel it. On 3rd and medium, Allen can live in nickel with 2 high shells and spin late, knowing the slot won't give up leverage on option routes. On 3rd and long, you can play simulated pressure with Carter as the threat, drop him, and rob a slant or whip while the rush gets home. In the red zone, you can keep 2 legit slot defenders on the field and take away the picks that burned us last year. It's not flashy, it's just good football. What about the room? Clean. Carter is a worker. He walks in, he knows his job, and he fits the tone Ben Johnson is setting here. Clear roles, clean execution, no wasted talk. Jalen is still your alpha. Stevenson still grows on the boundary. Kyler plays where he's best and doesn't have to chase 70 snaps coming right off IR. The upgrade is about stability, not headlines. Timeline? The deadline is around the corner. Philly got there first. So what's the move now? 2 paths. You place the courtesy call to the Eagles in case they want to flip value quickly. Unlikely, but you do due diligence. Or you pivot to the next tier of nickel help and keep your price discipline. Don't chase. The board just told you what the real price is for a steady nickel. Stick to it. Bottom line from me. Yes, Michael Carter II would have been a good choice for the Bears at the price we just saw. He fits what Dennis Allen is installing, he complements Jalen, Stevenson, and Gordon without stepping on their roles, and he gives this defense a calmer 3rd down life. The fact that Philly closed the deal means we adjust fast, not overreact. If a similar nickel comes available at the same cost, I want Ryan Poles to move. If the price jumps, I hold and trust Allen to keep building the rules with what we have. Now it's your turn. Would you have matched Philly's package for a true nickel? Or would you stick with Gordon only in the slot and roll your capital to edge or interior depth? Drop your trade framework in the comments. Tell me which sub-package you'd run on 3rd and 6 with Jalen, Stevenson, Gordon, and Carter all active, and where you draw the line on picks. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell. When Chicago makes a move, I'll have the cap details, the rotations, and the tape ready the same night. We keep it simple and we keep it honest. That's Bears News Fan Report.